You're listening to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, episode number 60. Welcome to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, a show anchored in reality to help you create a balanced life where you enjoy both your work and your life, because you don't have to choose. I am your host, Cecile Ferry, a corporate executive turned coach and working mom. This is your place for insights, advice, and tools to optimize your career direction, balance, and confidence. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. Hello, my beautiful friends. How are you all doing? It's good to be back to the podcast. I have been missing in action a little bit. I had warned you that I was taking some time off around Easter. And then when I got back to work, I spent about 2 days and then I got COVID. It finally got me and I had it pretty bad and I spent 7 days at home alone in isolation. It was pretty solitary, but glad to say this is week 2 of COVID. I am on the mend. I hope my voice doesn't sound too bad and I'm really excited to be back here. So it's been a much longer pause than what I thought. But timing is actually pretty good today because this week I am recording this episode as it is my 5th anniversary in my business, the Career Catch-Up. So I wanted to do an episode to really focus on that and give you some of the core lessons. So this episode is all about number 5 lessons in 5 years. And when I look back, wow, what a change. I still remember where I was 5 years ago when I launched this business. I was out of my corporate job after a pretty rough end of the road with the burnout and tension, sorting it out with my employer at the time. I had really bad health issues. I didn't have a lot of money at all. So it was a brand new kind of beginning. But I had clarity on what I wanted and I had that strong burning desire to become a coach to help women. And then fast forward to now. And 5 years later, so I have a business that is now solid, steady, that generates its own referrals. I have been coaching hundreds of women, men as well, from all backgrounds and industries. I feel really confident in my skills, in my abilities, and the value that I bring. And also, now I'm doing career, I'm also doing life, and I know there is plenty more to come. So 5 years is a big milestone in business. If you have been in business yourself, you will know, not many businesses last that long. And yes, it has been hard and I've had a lot of challenges. I'm not just sitting there going, look at me, it's been amazing, 5 years of growth. Hell no. There've been so many dark, difficult moments, but I've never felt like giving up. And I'm grateful for all those bumps and the challenges that have really tested me. But I stand taller today because I have built this business by myself and it's something that I believed in. And it's amazing, isn't it, to just see something coming to fruition and staying there and just withstanding the test of time. So as I'm reflecting back, I wanted to share today 5 key lessons through all my own learning, running this business for 5 years, but also looking at all the coaching journeys of my clients. So I'm kind of looking at all of that and extracting for you 5 key themes. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Lesson number 1. You can have whatever you desire professionally. Do you need me to say that again? You can have whatever you desire, anything professionally. Your goals are yours and anything is possible. I'm not saying anything is possible overnight, right? You can't, some goals are much further from you than others. But what you have in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, that is achievable, that is possible. And we all have that something. And maybe as you're listening to this, you are living it right now. Wonderful. And maybe not yet, but that's okay. Because what I've learned is that thing that you have in you, as scary as it may look, it is entirely possible for you. What an amazing piece of good news, right? And why do I know that? Because I have seen hundreds of women getting clear on what they wanted professionally and going after it and getting it. Anything from a side step to a step up to a radical change. I have seen it all, and I've seen it enough of it to know. I have built enough proof, enough data to be utterly convinced of this. So please believe me. It can happen for you too, whatever it is that you want. Yes, the world, society, culture will convince you of limitations, of set pathways, or all the things you can't be, or you can't have, or you can't do. But that is not true. That's what I want to tell you. These are fears, fear of loss, fear of failure. But it's like looking only at like one little side here of the curtain and not seeing everything else that's out there for you. Look, my own example. I wanted a career coaching business. I built that. I've done it. I have thrived in it. And now I'm really excellent at it. And then I wanted more of a life coaching business as well. So I've launched that. And I'm working my way through it. And I'm really loving it. I wanted to run a retreat. I did it. I launched it. And I made it happen. And there is so much more I want to do in the future. But now I know that I can, no matter what it is. The what doesn't matter. The what is relevant to you and is different from one person to the other. But there are no better whats or some whats that are possible and some that are not. They are all as valid and they're all possible. Is it easy? No. Is it fast? Usually not. Is it rewarding? Hell yes. So there are a lot of challenges, but the journey is as important as the destination. So as you're listening to me, I want to ask you, what do you want professionally? What is that thing you have in you that you probably tell yourself you can't? I tell you, I know you can. I know. I will sign it. I'll bet my life on it because I've seen it happen over and over and over. There is nothing that is not possible for you. Full stop. So just start going after it. You can have it. Okay, we've just warmed up lesson number 1. Now let's move on to lesson number 2. I'm going to talk about women here because I work mostly with women, and I wanted to say one thing that I have really observed and I continue seeing all the time is that women have a tendency to give plenty to others and very little to themselves, and me included. It's like we're really good at managing other people's lives, but when it comes to ours, we shrink. We don't feel comfortable. We have other things and we put it back and we postpone it, or we just don't know how to do it. And there is that imbalance. It feels like we can't have both. And we feel way more comfortable giving and helping and sorting out and planning when it comes to others, right? But planning a new career direction for ourselves, planning more professional fulfillment, planning better balance, more self-care, more well-being, that is a lot more difficult for us to allow and to make time for. And even if we were to allow it and to make time for it, then the doubts and the guilt just take over and crush everything. And we are culturally set up to be like this, unfortunately. Every woman is the same. Even the most successful one that you see. We all have that design in us, where it's so much easier to help everybody else, and when it comes to ourselves, it's so much harder. So this requires a reversal. It requires putting your needs first, yourself, your needs. And getting a coach does that. Because when you can work on your own limitation, on your lack of self-belief or self-deservingness, just a term I've just made up, When you can do that, then you'll be free and you will spread your wings. So if you feel like you've got goals, but you feel deep down that you just can't, welcome. You are in good company. But don't let that stop you. It is precisely what you need to work on in order to have what you want. It's not the actions themselves, the steps, the master plan, the how-tos, the technical bits, which we all tend to focus on, but that is only about 20% in my experience. The rest is your mind. It's letting yourself have it. It's allowing and believing. And it's about stopping the doubts and stopping that altruistic mindset, the other people first, other people need me first, or I will feel terrible because other people need X or Y. So that's what you need to do, is work on the mindset first. And trust me, once you do, and you remove that and you allow for that, that feels good. And that's what brings success. And then that success benefits everybody that you love. So you're not depriving anyone when you do that. And you're actually giving to yourself first, because so many of us just go through our lives giving to everybody else, but depriving ourselves. And we think that's good. It's not that good for others anyway, because you will have so much more to give from a full cup of yourself. And seriously, it is your job to fill your own needs. Nobody else is supposed to do that for you. So my message in this lesson is, you're not the only one. Most women are like you, and you need to reverse things, and you need to start with yourself, and it's waiting for you. Now let's move on to lesson number 3. It is to learn to recognize the seasons in your life. This has been a hard lesson for me, and it's still a work in progress, but I'm getting it. I believe we have seasons in our life, all of us, that are sort of preset, because we have circumstances that happen, and as they happen, we have to adjust, we have to make changes, we have to learn things, and they're there to teach us something and for us to grow, right? That is what life is about. That's what I see it, those ebbs and flows, and there's never a dull moment, right? There's always things happening. So that's what I call those seasons. And if I talk about my personal example, I reflected back how many seasons have I had in the last 5 years of my business. And actually I found 5. So looking back, the first one was the season of me starting and growing. So that's when I was super enthusiastic. I was excited. I had this new identity. I had that kind of, go-getter attitude. I had a lot of fears as I was brand new and starting, but also the minute that I started and I had my first couple of clients, it felt so good and so rewarding. So it was that intense kind of beginner mindset that was really thrilling. So that was my first season. And then probably 6 to 8 months down the track, when things started to work quite well for me and things started to gain some momentum, then I had a season of doubt. I had a season of personal challenge, and I really found it difficult to find clients because I was just doubting myself so much, because I had to really believe that this was the person that I was. So I had a lot of anxiety, I had fears, I had a lot of self-sabotage going on, a lot of procrastination, because deep down I was looking for that confidence within myself. Like, I had that question, am I really doing this? Am I supposed to do this? Who am I to do this? I had a lot of imposter syndrome, and I had to clear some blocks. So that was a season in my life where I invested heavily in coaching, in programs, to find the answers, to work on myself, to get my mindset right, and to fix different things in my life. And I worked across so many different areas of my life at that point in time. So that was my second season. And that led me into season number 3, which led to my separation in my personal life. If you're new to this podcast, you haven't heard the story, you can go and check out episode number 19, which talks about that transformation. But essentially what happened is I grew through season number 2 and all the work that I did on myself. I grew my sense of self-worth to the point that I couldn't stay in my existing relationship. So season number 3 was a massive season of change, decisions and action and radical change in my life. And then season number 4 was more what I call the transition after that into the new way of my life. And it was also during the pandemic. And we all know that. And that required a lot of adjustment with all the external circumstances that changed. The lockdowns, the remote working, the remote schooling, like having to be a mom at home all the time. And also being a single parent and dealing with my own grief. So there was so much going on in my personal life that my business had to adjust and flow with at the time. And that was season 4. And then now I'm into season 5 this year, where I'm in a new season of stability, of connection to my purpose, and looking at new expansion, even more authenticity, stepping more into exactly who I am today and what I embrace doing. So that's my story, but look at your own seasons in the last couple of years. It's so interesting to do that work and to map it out, because we are always growing. I know you've been through some seasons, and what season are you in right now? Is it a season of expansion, of growth, of momentum, of pushing things forward? Or is it a season of having to adjust and deal with different things around you? What I've failed to do in the past was to recognize the season that I was in and to accept it and to honor it for what it was. I tend to realize it afterwards, because I've tried to do things that go against the season and then they don't work out and I get frustrated. And then over time, when some hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, fair enough. That wasn't the right season for that. So now I'm much better at it. And as I'm in the season, I can tell because I notice the signs. So for me, the signs are things that don't quite align or don't quite work easily, or it's events that are happening. It's like big signboards to me that are flashing now. And I'm like, okay. It's not always a season for professional success. It's not always a season for career highlights. But likewise, at times, it is all about that. So ask yourself, what season are you in, and seize that season, whatever it is currently bringing you. Okay, lesson number 4. Everybody's got incredible gifts, so you just need to be you. That's going to be a feel-good lesson. So I have seen so many clients over the years with amazing technical skills, amazing business skills, amazing soft skills, different personality styles, different strength, different values. Everybody is so different. We each have a very unique makeup. It's like we are all our own unique symphony with so many different tunes and instruments and accents and tones. So we all express ourselves uniquely. We bring that a unique combination of all those things that bring a unique result. And I think many of us spend a lot of our time searching for a path that's acceptable, that will validate us, that will bring us a sense of comfort, a sense of peace, and a sense of identity. Whilst really, in essence, we are the path. Our uniqueness is the path. If we just focused on knowing who we are and owning that and finding ways to express that, to live lives in accordance to that, we would find that fulfillment. It is that simple. It's like it's right there in front of you because it's you. The answer is within you. There is no one else who thinks like you, who acts like you, who sees the world like you do, who solves problems just like you do. And that is your purpose right there. It is to be you, to bring that to the world. So in my business, it's taken me about 5 years to get to this conclusion. And now I have no fear because there's only one of me. I know that I'm unique, I'm special. The way I talk to you here on this podcast, what do I have to fear about? I'm just being myself, and I know that is my gift, and that's what I'm sharing with you. I just need to tune in with what I feel deep within myself, what I believe in, what inspires me, and that is enough. And that is plenty. And that is what I'm supposed to be doing. That is perfect, actually. So wherever you're at, know that you already have everything that it takes. You are the answer. It's there in the makeup of you. It's your recipe for success. And I really want you to sit with that for a minute. Let that sink down. Feel it in you. Think from that place. Think about how unique you are and how you have those gifts that nobody else has. And that's your responsibility to act on those things and to bring them out of you. So if you think that way, just see what you feel called to do from that place. And you will feel some quite really nice confidence that comes with it. Because it's natural, it's personal, and you can't go wrong with that. Because it's just who you are. You're just expressing that. And that's what I found fascinating with all my clients over the years is they're so different and so interesting to get to know. And I trust that they're going to do wonderful things because of who they are. And my job as a coach is just to help you unlock that potential that is sitting right there. You can unlock it yourself, but sometimes so much easier to have an external perspective, right? But what I've loved in those 5 years is seeing that potential in everybody, in so many different shapes and forms. And that excites me. And I know when you're listening to this, you have that potential and you know it. So look within and just go and take that first next step to bring that to life. And here comes my last lesson, number 5. You can have more than one thing. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can have a successful career and a really amazing, fulfilling personal life. I do not care at all about the blah blah out there of you can't have it all or you can't have it all at the same time and balance doesn't exist and all that crap. Need to rant about that today. I do not care about all those 1,000 hacks and tips and all of that to help you be a wonder mom and to balance it all. You can have what you believe you can have. Period. Do I need to say that again? You don't need all those tips. You don't need to read all those articles. There isn't a way and there isn't a set amount of things that you can have. You can have what you believe you can have. That's all. If I look at myself, I always believed I could have a successful career and a great life. Always. And that's what I have. I have a life that I enjoy and I have time for myself. Like I have this on tap each week. I live this. I am living proof it's possible. And I'm just a normal person. So don't believe the media garbage, I will call it. It's written to get readership. It's just written to build a story angle. Something that will just hook people and people will go, yeah, wow, yeah, that's terrible. It's only one tiny version of a much bigger world. So be really careful if you are selecting a small bit of truth and choosing to believe that in your own life. You don't have to choose or to limit yourself. What you need is getting clear on that life vision for yourself. What do you want in it? What are all the parts, the pieces? What does that puzzle look like that will make you have a really amazing life? And then get to work at a reasonable pace, of course, but it's not that you can't go wrong or not have it. Things are not mutually exclusive. You can have literally all those parts, how many parts you want in your life, and whatever those parts are, you make up that artwork, if you like, of your life. Yes, it takes time and skill to plan and to build it, but what's the rush anyway? Again, what matters here is the journey. So as you're listening to this, I hope you're thinking about those different pieces of your life. I hope you have several goals for your life, not just the one. Or that you're limiting yourself because you think that would be too greedy or that would be too good to be true. Yes, you are made to expand. And frankly, I don't think there are any limits. I don't think there's a ceiling. I see some of my mentors and coaches and people I look up to. They have so much more than me and they continue growing. And you might be listening to me thinking that I have more than what you have. Right? So there's always more available to us. As long as you're true to your own desires at the time and that you act on them, you can have everything you like in your life. And that is what life is about. And do those vision boards, do those life vision. And it's something we can work on in life coaching, is building that life vision picture for you, turning that into personal goals, professional goals, whatever they are, and then making those happen. And then those pieces will come together. And that will be amazing. And when you get to that place, you'll be so happy and you have so much growth and lesson for yourself. And then you'll be ready for the next puzzle. And it will start coming. Life cannot help itself. It's always about that. So do not let anyone tell you you can't have that piece of the puzzle. That you can have that one, but not with that one. If you're sick of hearing that, and if you want more of all those pieces, if you want everything that you want, you are in the right place. I can help you building that puzzle and going after it and making it a reality. And that is fun, and that's really what life is about. So this wraps our episode today with our 5 lessons in 5 years. I'm just going to recap them really quickly. Number 1, you can have whatever you desire professionally. There is no goal that is not possible for you. Number 2, women have a tendency to give plenty to others and very little to themselves. And we need to reverse that trend. Number 3, you need to learn to recognize the seasons in your life and to not force things and to understand what they are bringing to you at that point in time. Number 4 is everybody like you has got incredible gifts, and the key is just to be you and to bring that to the world. And number 5 is you can have all the pieces of the puzzle. You do not need to limit yourself to the one thing. So I hope these lessons were uplifting for you today. They were encouraging, they were inspiring, and that they've popped little windows in your mind of things that maybe, yes, you're going to start harnessing more for yourself. And these are things that we work on in career coaching or in life coaching, depending what it is. So if you feel called to it, if you feel ready, take this podcast episode as a sign that you're ready for that. So you can go on my website. I'll put the links in the show note. You can check out the career coaching offers and you can check out the life coaching offers at www.careercatchup.com. And I have time to take on new clients over the next few months. So this is the right time for you, my friend, to harness the power of everything being possible for you, to not having to limit yourself, to know how to remove those limitation, doubts, and guilt that you have about looking after your own interests, right? And then to start reaping the rewards for yourself to have exciting things in your life. And that is what I believed in from the beginning 5 years ago, and that's what I'll continue believing in the next 5 years. And I'm super excited to have you on the journey with me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for having been on the journey with me in the last 5 years. Even if it was 2 weeks, if it was 2 years, like however long, thank you so much for being part of what I've built, for being with me, and I'm so excited to keep growing with you. So I wish you all an amazing week, an amazing month, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to find out more information, you can visit my website at careercatchup.com. There you will find blog articles, free resources, a self-study course for your career direction, and ways to work with me. It's at careercatchup.com. I hope to continue to connect with you and support you. Talk to you soon.